Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bachelor post-show live stream with me, Bachelor Fantake. How's everyone doing tonight? We are back with the live streams. Know we've missed these every so often, and but we're back tonight. And I can't always do them lately because I've got a almost 4-month-old now. It's kind of wild how fast it's been, and she's the boss right now. But tonight we're here. It's an important night because it's the night before, or the week before hometowns. Joey had to decide who was going to be in his final four, whose families he was going to meet. And thank you all for joining me. Before we get into everything, please remember, number one rule, be kind to each other. Also, no spoilers in the chat unless you can back it up with sleuthing. And we're going to do some sleuthing tonight as we look at the preview and beyond. We've got everything we need from this point on. I mean, we already had it from earlier onward into the final two, basically. I think we've got everything we need to dictate eliminations from here on out. So I don't think anything's changed, though they tried to make things dramatic this episode with some possible eliminations. We know what's up. And AJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Good to see you. Good to see some familiar faces in the chat. Next week's preview looked a little scary, especially with Rachel and Maria. This week's episode was normal or boring. Yeah, very standard episode this time around. No drama really to talk about because all the drama had passed. The drama of this week was more about the tension before hometowns and Joey feeling like someone might reject him. That was his biggest fear. That's been talked about a lot in the previews. Been talked about tonight, and the sort of big example of that was Maria. Maria really playing it fast and loose with her connection with Joey, and not feeling like she wanted to see him kissing other women, and the whole Bachelor process. It's a fairly standard feeling, fairly standard moment in the show. Happens often, but I don't know what Maria's goal was with that. I think she's smarter than this, and but I don't know if her desire was to really show Joey that she was so serious about him that and trying to force him a little bit to make more of a play for her. I don't know, maybe testing that. I'm not quite sure. But it's certainly she didn't have the cojones to stand her ground on that one, because even when she told him, I'm not going to kiss you tonight, it was like, bam, as soon as he was like, whoa, she kind of, whoa, okay, yeah, here's a kiss. Here you go. Yeah, no, didn't mean that, just kidding. But yes, and Maria Hernandez, another familiar face, good to see you. Really appreciate the super chat. Being from Chicago, I know that Polar Plunge and Joey and Lexi did was 10 times worse. No amount of money will make me do that. I know Bachelor Fantake would grill the guy so hard during hometowns. Yeah, exactly. That's a funny thing. Now again, especially now. Well, I've been a father for 3 years now, but now father of 2, and now more public about being a father. I joke all the time with my wife about, well, what if our girls were on The Bachelor? It would be my dream to be a villainous Bachelor dad, to be a hardball Bachelor dad. That's the dream. That's the dream. But yeah, that Polar Plunge would have been probably sometime in. So here we'll do a quick for this episode. For those of you who might not have watched, might not have followed along. This episode, we saw our standard group date and 2 one-on-ones. The first one-on-one went to Daisy, who got a rose. Then there was the group date, and then the next one-on-one with Kelsey A, who also got a rose. And they did a polar plunge. They were in Jasper, Alberta. And being in Alberta, this would have filmed probably somewhere in October. I'm guessing. And that would have been some, really, really cold water. I grew up in southern Ontario, Toronto area, and that's pretty much as south as it gets for the most part in Canada. And so a lot of these lakes, especially, they if they're large and in here in southern Ontario, I don't want to touch that water till it's like August. That's when it's like, okay, this is nice. But before that, it is it can be quite cold, and so in October, it's going to be tough. But and then after that, with the drama of maybe Maria's discussion of not being able to stay because she can't handle Joey being with these other women and seeing all of that. Ultimately, we saw the eliminations of Kelsey T and Jen. Maria did get a rose. Joey seems to really like her, but she definitely she played her cards a little too hard this episode, I think. And AJ, again, thank you for the super chat. I don't really know what's going on with Maria tonight. Yes, Maria, who is... we knew, based on the previews, that she was going to be getting a hometown rose, because here she is in Niagara Falls, footage we haven't seen before. This is where her hometown is going to be, or it seems to be. I guess, Kleinberg is where she's from, or maybe she's where she currently lives, or I'm not entirely sure. I don't know what the deal is, because Kleinberg is not, in Niagara Falls. Kleinberg, Ontario. It's, but they go to Niagara Falls. We'll see next week. But definitely, originally in our sleuthing, we were like, oh, this maybe is a date. Maybe it's the Montreal date. But it's one of those things where, like, you often talk about overthinking some of these previous stuffs, but this was underthought of. It was one of those moments where, hey, that doesn't quite make sense. That's Montreal to Niagara Falls is a long way away. So Maria in her hometown for next week, but that's going to be it. Maria's time on the show ends at hometowns. Perfect for her to show up at the Women Tell All, which is that's actually something I'm quite excited about. And we'll look at the preview. The preview tonight, they teased, I think, Rachel having a moment and maybe being the one to go home or something like that. No, it's not Rachel. We know who our final three are going to be. This is the sort of outlook of the season. We've got Kelsey, seen in Mexico, the final filming location. Daisy, seen in the final filming location. Rachel, seen in the final filming location. And Maria, this is as far as we've seen her in her hometown. So that there's the deal. That's all we need to know. The rest is the rest are details. Otherwise, we have like this shot. Still to be seen. Looks like a final rose ceremony shot, and there's only one woman who that could be with the hair. So Rachel looks to be the one headed home at the final three, and I think that tracks with how I feel about Joey's connections. I know a lot of people have really gotten cold on Daisy over the last little while, because she got that early edit. Early one-on-one, and then not much for a while. And she did get a one-on-one this episode, and he seems to be, feeling something, because she was spectacularly saying, "I'm not going to tell you I love you." It's the anti-hometowns MO. Usually, what they're all trying to do is drop that L-bomb so that they can get that rose going for hometowns. But no, she said, "I'm not going to say that." Turns out, though, next week, based off if you see my last preview, breakdown video. Next week she drops it quick. She's like, okay, now we're not messing around. Now we're talking about fantasy suites. We're talking about moving on. So I'll drop that L-bomb, and maybe that's something Joey talks about as well. Wanting to know, he talked about it a little bit this episode. Wanting to know more where Daisy is at with her feelings, and so maybe he's like, okay, can you tell me more now? And she's like, okay, I'll say it. I'll drop the L-bomb. So it's a pretty clear-cut pathway from here on out to the finale. And so again, if Rachel goes, that means at the final three, that means it's Daisy and Kelsey in the end. And really like anytime we do these sleuthing things, it's about getting to that final two, and then it's just a 50-50. Who do you feel it's going to be? Kelsey, who both got one-on-ones this episode, but Kelsey coming on stronger in the second half of the season thus far. Daisy stronger in the first half. So we'll see. And and another interesting thing with Maria, I know there's been a lot of talk because of the whole like bullying stuff, the Leia and Sydney and Jess stuff, and Maria, being fairly interesting and fun with Joey. Talk about her for Bachelorette, but does tonight, her actions tonight, ruin that? Does that end her Bachelorette hopes? I don't know. I think we'll get maybe she'll certainly be in the mix. I think. Don't know if it's gonna happen at this point. I think maybe it's a little bit I don't know, too much of a scary proposition for production. I'm not sure. Her prospects for that were, I think, a little bit tarnished tonight. A little bit. But the Women Tell All will be a very sometimes that can be a big audition for Bachelorette if they're considering going out of the top three. We've seen big nights for future Bachelorettes like Hannah Brown at the Women Tell All, for example. So I often think that the Women Tell All or the After the Final Rose, how they usually by the After the Final Rose it's been decided, but at least sometimes on the Bachelorette for the men, the After the Final Rose can be this same thing as the Women Tell All is for the Bachelor. It can be that kind of audition, like how are they going to carry themselves on camera, and in the show, and how are they going to come across. So, but usually what happens, and more often than other options is that it's one of the final two. One of the final two. Who Joey doesn't pick, that will be the Bachelorette. But no big surprises. We left the drama last week and the week before, and now they had this. They did have the a little bit of drama almost with Jen. Jen kind of inserting herself a little bit into Joey on the group date, but not really. A couple of the women being upset about that. I feel like that was actually more impetus for the story of Maria, being upset and coming to Joey and saying, no, I don't know if I can handle this, than anything else. So. But yeah, but, you know, Kelsey A, Daisy, you know, and a lot of people. There's been a lot of hype about Daisy from the beginning, or at least in terms of like the edit she's gotten, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell sometimes if that's that final pick edit or Bachelorette. We've been wrong both ways a lot of times in the past. So, but yeah, and Rachel is in the mix as well. Rachel would be in the mix as well. Anyone who makes it that distance is in the mix, certainly. And at this point, any of the women who aren't with Joey who make it that far, I'm sure it's so you've got Maria and you've got Rachel. At least from what the sleuthing seems to indicate. Unless this were to be like some sort of fake out somehow. But Rachel, Maria, and whoever isn't picked of Kelsey A or Daisy probably already have contracts lined up. And it's really formatted in a way, at least from my sort of understanding of the past, formatted in a way that it's really not like a solid deal until ABC decides and the show decides. So that way they're kind of ready to go. And then as soon as ABC decides, okay, we're gonna go with you. We've got it all figured out. Boom, boom, boom. Let's put it together. It also like helps so that like up to the last moment, if there's any sort of like scandal or anything, they can just okay, move on to the next one. Have it ready to go. Boom. We at least know that they interview a number of people, right up to the wire. Kind of saves them from gives them the power and lets them make last minute decisions too, I think. But all right, let's take a look at the preview for next week. Hometowns, the fabled dad showdown between Joey and our bachelor dads. Let's get this set up. Where at least the preview wants us to believe that there are multiple families with tough parents. All right, let's take a look.
This is a huge step in my relationships with all 4 women.
Hi.
Meeting someone's family is a very big deal.
How's it going? Hey, Joey. How you doing? Mark. Nice to meet you.
When it comes to the women that I'm hoping to marry, I want to be a part of their family as much as they are a part of mine.
So it looks like, I mean, as far as we can tell, I mean, Rachel's from Hawaii. This is going to be in Hawaii? Unless they, don't want to make that huge flight for crew and stuff like that, so they kind of have a fake Hawaii going on. I guess that's possible too, but I mean, it would make sense. Joey in Hawaii. Joey's from Hawaii. With Rachel's mom, family, and there's the man, Maria's dad, and here there they are, the Niagara Falls. Looks to be, we always see that day portion first usually before they go to see the family. They have a kind of day out date organized by the women, and then meet the family. And Maria's will be Niagara Falls. Made of the Mist.
I definitely need my family's help to.
And here we see the infamous Christmas tree farm. Had to pause it immediately. Of course, we're going to be seeing Daisy's Christmas tree farm. And the Hallmark movie of the week.
Family's help to kind of help me figure out exactly what I'm feeling.
Nice to meet you. When's the last time you brought someone home?
I've never brought anyone home. My dad is not gonna make it easy.
It's hard.
There's the Bachelor dad, the hardball dad coming out. But yeah, we've got Daisy's family, and mainly here Daisy deciding like how figuring out how she's gonna feel. Which again we know based on or preview footage we've already seen, she's gonna be feeling lovey, which must mean that this date goes like spectacularly as well. So maybe the Hallmark Christmas tree family, not so much the hardball family. Not so much the hardball family. Maria's family.
My dad is not gonna make it easy.
It's hard for me right now because I don't know where you stand. Maria's 100% daddy's girl. If she gets hurt, it would be a problem.
This song just kills me. Why do they have to have this, like... They got this shot of them kissing, and then they got this creepy... this creepy shot of Dad looking on from... I'm sorry. Oh, that one gets me good. Dad creepily watching from the window. Oh no.
Girl, if she gets hurt, it would be a problem for Joey.
In a normal dating situation, ideally you would date one person. This is a scary process.
Oh,
As a father, I'm of course
dads.
concerned with Kelsey.
Oh no. But I guarantee you here, I guarantee you here that this Kelsey crying and is not from Hardball Dad or anything. I honestly, I wasn't even listening to what he was saying in this moment because I was still not over Maria's dad. But I just feel in my bones that this is her this is her getting emotional about her mother. Not about, I don't know, like, they put heavy music on, dramatic music, and you think like, oh no. But I'm sure this is her getting emotional about her mother and her dad saying, "Oh, your mother would be so proud of you," or "You're so again like your mother." But okay, what did he say? What was he saying here? I get these shots. Oh, they're doing they're doing this man dirty.
Normal dating situation, ideally you would date one person. This is a scary process. As a father, I'm of course concerned with Kelsey.
Yeah, standard Bachelor dad stuff. Even the non-dramatic Bachelor dads say this. I fully believe it's more like that. I guess we'll see, but
the hardest thing for me is that there's also 3 other girls. Have you guys said I love you to each other?
Yeah, standard again. Bachelor mom, Bachelor dad stuff. This is Daisy's family. Yeah, looks to be Daisy's mom, I suppose.
Have you guys said I love you to each other?
She's told me that she is not able to express any feeling of falling in love.
This whole...
Yeah, and that's the sort of big dramatic Daisy moment. But again, we've seen from the preview, it was like way back, I think like it was either the season preview or the first look preview, where Daisy's like, no, I can now say I fully love you, or I'm falling in love with you. So she'll say that by the end, and that will be the impetus for Joey to be like, okay, fantasy suite, move on.
falling in love.
This whole journey is non-traditional, but I want them to give that blessing for he and I to be together.
I care.
I just love these edits. These so dramatic.
I want them to give that blessing for he
On the they're just here. They're just standing here. Mom's smiling. They're just watching this. They're not doing anything.
give that blessing for he and I to be together.
I care for your daughter, and I'm not taking this lightly.
Yeah, it's just, I wish you the best.
Could be completely like nothing, but maybe it's mean bachelor mom because Rachel gets upset. And this, not entirely sure. I remember they don't quite show it here. I almost show it here, but in this shot, which is from either the first look preview, one of the early previews. They have Joey, he's holding Rachel's hand, and he's smiling. Or he's not, like, looking devastated or anything. And even in this shot, Joey doesn't look devastated. He looks fairly upbeat, and so that, I mean, whatever the emotion is here seems to be, like, not devastating? Or not devastating for Joey, or maybe it's just overwhelming for Rachel, and he's comforting her. He seems to be in that sort of stance, rather than a stance or something like that. And you know, at the end of the day, it's easy to make that speculation as well, because again, we know Rachel will be moving on to fantasy suites. Maria, maybe it's Maria's dad. Maybe that was it. But, like, and again, yeah, it doesn't have to be, this doesn't have to be, you know, like, emotional in a good way. It doesn't have to be emotional in a good way for Joey to still be comforting her and still giving her a rose and them still progressing their relationship. Like, she could have wished the day went better or something like that, and Joey still comforts her and says, you know, it's about, you know, there's all sorts of things. And it also does not seem like, I don't know, maybe Joey says, I don't know. It's possible it could be a happy cry too. Like, it could be Joey says, I'm falling in love with you too. And it's like, she's like, whoa, shocked. Didn't think you'd say that at this point. Could be a million things. Ultimately, doesn't change that Rachel is in Mexico on this cenote date, which they've used before. They're reused in the same location, bachelor friendly in Mexico, whatever it is. But on the left is Gabby and her final filming location, and then now Joey and his. So there you have it. Hometowns coming up. Tough. This is my favorite. I'll leave it here for a moment. Tough dads, tough parents. Christmas tree farm parents are gonna be grilling Joey. What's your plan? Are you gonna move to our small town of Becker and learn the true meaning of Christmas or not? And Joey's gonna say, yes, I will. Here's a rose for your daughter. So, but yeah, no surprises heading our way. The real juicy part on the horizon is the women tell-all. I think I am very interested to see where everyone stands at that, because Maria, you know, seems to be there. I mean, there's no footage of her beyond her hometown next week. So we've got all 3 fantasy slot suites filled up, unless they pull a Hannah Brown and bring all 4 of them, and they've just been hiding all the Maria footage, then there you go. No Christmas tree farm in Joey's future. Yeah. He's too busy playing tennis. What's the schedule coming up for the remaining episodes? I think we've got 4 more weeks of Bachelor, unless they do. I mean, it's very possible that at the end they do like double episode finale, Monday, Tuesday kind of thing. But it's hometowns, women tell all, and fantasy suites, and then finale. Very possible though that they double up. They do that occasionally, and they've already doubled up the season. I don't know what it is, if it's trying to get things done before American Idol shifts over to Mondays as well. Is the Women Tell All after Fantasy Suites this year? Cool. Then they'll do Hometowns Fantasy Suite Women Tell All. But this is episode 7. That would mean 8 next Hometowns, 9 Tell All, 10 Fantasy Suites, 11 for finale. That's a pretty that's a standard, like 11 episodes standard season. I think it's just a little, like, if they double up, it'll be a couple weeks shorter, just because they've put 2 episodes in 1 week. And AJ, thank you for the super chat. I'm excited for this Women Tell All. Maria and Sydney, chef's kiss. Absolutely. That's the Maria, Sydney, Leia. That's the ticket. Jess as well. Though Jess has recently, I did see, amidst it, in all this chaos, still trying to catch the latest goings on in Bachelor Nation, and Jess did make an apology about everything with Maria and all that. So I would imagine she's more in a place of, like, kind of moving past that, apologizing and recognizing the things she said that weren't maybe what she wanted to. But yeah, no, Sydney. I think Sydney's response to the show, at least initially, was not entirely the same as what Jess put out there. So we'll see how she feels now with more public opinion out there, and how she acts at the tell-all. But and then Leia as well. Leia, I haven't followed Leia. Seems like not many people have either, because there was a post, it was like a Bachelor data post, like she is the first person to lose followers after, like, being on the show. Like, usually everyone, like, gains some followers, even if they're villains, they gain, like, people, but I think she's the first to lose. Is it a tough feat? I don't know what her social media presence and situation was before this, but we'll see. Yeah, maybe that's the message for her as well. Maybe they've kind of gathered themselves, got the PR team together, and went, we'll see. But it also, I'm sure there's a temptation to kind of play it up as well for the cameras at the tell-all, because then you're going to get invited back for Paradise, which, again, I don't even know if Paradise is happening this year. Because what we do know is that for sure come the end of the year, we are getting Golden Bachelorette. So there is going to be content throughout the year, but and Maria Hernandez, thank you for the super chat. As someone who's about to go to Hawaii in April for vacation, I'm more relaxed knowing if there's an emergency, Rachel will be there. I'll be in good hands. Yes, I hopefully you won't have to meet Rachel, but if you need to, you've got Rachel there. Thanks for the super chat. But yeah, Daisy gained 400,000 followers. Yeah. That's the power of the Hallmark movie of the week. But all right, we're going to come now to the end of our stream. So because we've got recap coming tomorrow, then there is another Love is Blind video coming out after that. Love is Blind has been absolutely unhinged this season. Very spicy drama, and so there's going to be more of that coming your way, and then the preview breakdown after that. So a lot to come, and a lot to get through in the next few days. So gonna be heading back to bed, and you know, of course, there's the 3-year-old, 4-month-old, almost 4-month-old combo in the mix that always makes the nights fun ahead. So a lot of content coming our way. Thank you all for coming in and chatting tonight. For everyone who super chatted, everyone who was just here, lurkers, I see you too. You're loved as well. Big week ahead. Hometowns next week. Lots more content. And then more Love is Blind. Love is Blind finale. Love is Blind, all sorts of stuff as well. Tons stuff. So, thank you all. And until next time, till tomorrow, Bachelor Fan Take. Out. Night, everybody.